Okay, this tutorial is for lesson 18, and I'm going to start out with 17 again because you should be starting out here anyway, and just go to File, Save As, and save this as lesson 18, so that way you have all of your layers and text styles and everything else. Also, there's one other thing I wanted to touch on from this lesson 17. When you go back into your dimension styles, when you're done making your override, you should get rid of that override. Because if you notice, when I go back and I do any other dimension, whether it's from here to there, it's always going to be the larger one. And if I wanted to go back to normal like that one up there, I need to get rid of my override. So I'm going to go back into dimension style. Here's the override currently. I'm going to click on delete. You want to delete it? Yes, I want to delete it. Click apply, click OK. And now any other dimension that I do from here on out should be the regular size, like this one up here on top, and as you can see it is. So make sure that you do delete it when you are done. Okay? So here we go. I've already started lesson 18. I've got a couple of examples for you. Make sure you do save it. Make sure you have all your layers and your text styles and everything else. Make sure you change it down here in the title block. And again, I've got a couple examples, so I'm going to show you a couple of things. Number one, this chapter discusses angular dimensioning. Here it is up on the dimensioning toolbar. If I just click there and click there, it tells me whatever angle that is, and I think you guys did already know that. Number two, it goes into radius and diameter dimensioning. So this one is radius right here. You just click on it, click on whatever circle it is you're talking about, and there is the radius of that circle. Now, not only does it give us the radius dimension, but it also puts center lines in there for us. The problem is these center lines are actually on the dimension layer because that's what layer I'm on. So we're going to talk about how to get rid of these center lines in just a minute. Here's the diameter dimension. I click on that, and again, there's the diameter symbol that you're used to, and again, it puts center lines in there for us, and we're going to change that here in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And last but not least, this little button right here is the center mark button, and it will put center marks in your drawing. So I can go ahead and click on that and click right here, and there are center marks. Now, obviously, that doesn't look like a center line with a long dash, short dash, long dash, because it's on the dimension layer. So all I have to do is select those and change that to the center line layer, and there you have a perfect set of center lines. Okay? The only problem with the center lines is that now if I were to come back and put this radius dimension on here, then those center lines that are attached to the radius dimension go over those, and that is a problem. And again, we'll discuss that in just a second. Okay? If yours only makes a mark, for example, if I go to dimension style and I change this to standard and activate the standard and click OK, and I get rid of these, and now if I click on center mark and I click here, it's only going to put a little plus right there, or a center mark. Why is that? Here's why. When I go to dimension style and I go to radial diameter dimension and I go to center mark display, if you notice, standard just has a little center mark, the little plus sign that you see right there. But when I go to class style has it set as center line. Okay, and I want you to have it on center line. That's why we're using the class style dimension. All right, but understand, if you click on center mark and it does nothing, or it does just a little center mark, that's because that's how you have it set up currently. Okay, so understand that that is how it works. All right, now in order to get rid of this problem where we click on this and it puts center lines over that, what we are going to do is we are going to make a couple of different dimension styles, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to click on our dimension style. We're going to start with class style, and we're going to go to new. But we're not going to do a new class style. We're actually just going to make something new just for radial dimensions or radius dimensions. So you're going to see up here it says class style radius. It's based on class style. We're going to click OK, and you can see here it says class style radius. So the only change we really need to make is go down here to radial diameter dimension, go to center mark display, and remember it was overlaying our center marks or our center lines with the white ones on the dimension layer. So I'm just going to change that to none. And click apply, and you can see it's only going to change my class style radius. Click OK, and now when I click on radius up here, there should be nothing going over my nice center marks for that circle. And you can see there it is. Okay. The only problem is I need to do the same thing for dimension, because remember when I do this, it puts center lines over my dimension toolbar. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing for dimension. Go to dimension style, class style. We're going to go to new. This time it's going to be just for diameter dimensions. Click OK. Notice it says class style diameter. And I am going to go ahead and go to radial diameter dimension, center mark display, and again change that from center line to none. And click apply, click OK. Now the computer knows that anytime I do a radius dimension, not to put a center mark or a center line there. Anytime I do a diameter dimension, not to put a center mark or a center line right there. There's my diameter dimension, there is my radius dimension, and these are just my regular center marks. So I can put that on the center line layer, click on the center mark button right here, click on this guy, and I'm good to go. Okay? One last thing I do want to go over, just in case you run into drawings that do this, is that sometimes you will notice that the diameter doesn't look like this. It might have arrows going through the inside with text on it like that. So I'm going to show you how to change that if need be. If I go into the dimension settings, dimension styles, and I go into diameter, you may want to mess around with this fit tab right here. And in fit tab, currently, if you go to geometry, it's on automatic, and if you go to dimension text, it's currently on next to the dimension line. All right. Well, if you want it to be maybe on to go through the middle, you may want to choose arrows, and now you can see you have arrows going through the center of your circle right here. So if I click OK, and now if I click on dimension or diameter dimension up here, and click here, so now you can see, and of course I have this on the wrong layer, but you can see I can either do it that way, or I can bring my mouse in here, and I could put this, dimension through there like that, and of course I'd put that on the correct layer, and it might look something like that. Okay, so maybe you don't want the dimension to be sticking out, the diameter dimension to be sticking out, but you want the arrows to be on the inside. And again, one more way that we did that is going to dimension style, going to fit, and making changes on these two tabs right here. Okay, so currently, or actually I got to make sure I'm on diameter, and I would just change this back to automatic, click apply, click OK, and now I can move this around to wherever I like, and it will be good. Okay, so those are some things that you should know, and I'll see you for the next tutorial, which will specifically go over how to do lesson 18A.